live. Okay, that should be good. Now, I gotta test it. Okay. There it is right there. That should be good. Now, mute that. Share. Publicly. There. Now I just gotta add the description. Nope. There it is. That should be good.
You use OBS?
I'm actually on Streamlabs. I used to use OBS, but then, honestly, it took too long to learn it, so I just stopped. I was like, yeah, this is too much. What do you use? Were you using?
Yeah, I used OBS.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how to use it like fully. I figured out how to do a couple setups, but yeah, I haven't messed with it in a while.
Okay, that's showing. Okay, let's see that. Oh yeah. Also, what are you drinking, bro? Did you get anything up?
I got some tequila on the rocks.
You should have told me, man. I would have got my other tequila. I don't have any tequila, but
it's all I had.
Drinking Crown. Did you start already?
I mean, I took a couple of sips.
Oh man, we gotta cheers, man. Go start with a cheers. That's my bad. I should have told you.
Okay.
I'm taking it easy. Last night, I kind of went a little hard, and my coworkers actually called me out. They're like, "Why are you so loud, bro?" I'm like, man, that's how I am. I just talk a little bit more with my hands when I drink the whiskey.
I don't even drink that much anymore.
Honestly, this was the first time I drank whiskey in a bit. So, all right, cool. Let me just make sure this is all good. Okay, that's not good yet. Okay, shift this over. Lift that up. Yeah, so when are you gonna do another one of those sessions, man? You gotta try it. Perfect it, man. It was dope.
Soon, yeah. I think I might do a breakdown of one of the songs that I produced. Go through how I made everything. But yeah, I'll probably do next time I do that. I'll do it actually from the studio.
Oh yeah. So how does this isn't the actual interview part yet, but so where are you working right now? Do you have a home studio, right?
I have a home studio, but now I'm at a studio called Trackside.
Trackside. How long have you been there?
So I've been there for almost 2 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the studio I was at before, the owners retired in 2018, and they sold the building.
Oh, they don't let you have it?
No, I mean it was part of it. We were talking about it, but yeah, they chose to just they're ready to move on from the business. So
right.
I mean they were in their late 70s, so they were ready to.
Sometimes it's just easier just to walk away from it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
I mean, because I was.
All right, man. So my drink is ready. So if you will, let's go ahead and get this started. What are you drinking exactly? You're just drinking pure tequila?
It's yeah.
What brand?
On the rocks. I forgot. It's somebody gave me a bottle, and it's good. But I forgot what the brand is.
And you don't even like it. You don't even know what the brand is. All right. Well, anyways, Jezreel, just want to say thank you for joining me on short notice. I think one of the things that the dopest things about you is anytime I reach out to you, I mean, it's been far and few between. But you've always given me the opportunity to kind of say what's up, give me some knowledge, and just give me an insight. And I think that's important. As friends that kind of live far away, I mean, it's important to keep in touch. You got to force yourself to keep in touch with each other. And my girl, Rachel, that just dropped in the chat right now, I don't see her. And that's one of the things, too, is that we're kind of building community. So thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course, bro. So just real quick, I mean, for the people that don't know you, I mean, I've known you probably, I've known you since 20, so maybe 13 odd years. Do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself as far as your timeline of where you are, where you started, how you got into the business? I kind of gave the quick bio that you know, Grammy Award winner. You worked with a lot of famous celebrities, famous artists. Can you kind of just give us a breakdown of your career so far? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
first, cheers.
Oh, cheers. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a recording engineer slash music producer. I've been doing this professionally since 2007. So yeah, going on 14 years. So yeah, I mean, I basically started off just, you know, I loved music growing up. I taught myself how to play guitar and other instruments. And then, you know, when I was in high school, me and my friends, we just started making like beats and stupid songs in like my mom's basement. But like, it was something that like I really like enjoyed doing and had a passion for it. And so, you know, after high school, I was going to college, but not really like sure what I wanted to do. Um, and then I learned like, oh yeah, you know, you could actually make like, there's a career being behind the scenes in music. You know, I never wanted to be an artist, but I always wanted to, you know, produce and be the guy who, you know, makes everyone sound good. So I did some research. I found a local recording school here in Detroit. I did that program, and after that, I was fortunate to get an internship at a local studio, which happened to be like one of the most legendary studios in Michigan. They had a long history, and so I was like really fortunate to get in the door. And so I just kind of worked my way up, starting as an intern to an assistant, and then running my own sessions. And yeah, and that the studio was called Studio A, and yeah, that's where I was.
Yeah.
You know, I was fortunate to work with, you know, a lot of major artists. And yeah, so I was, you know, I was telling you, the owners retired in 2018, and so they sold the building. And so I found another studio where I'm currently at. It's called Trackside in Ypsilanti, Michigan. So I just started bringing my clients there kind of as like a freelance engineer. And, you know, after a few months, they asked me to join the team, and that's where I've been ever since.
That's dope, man. So, how long has the Trackside been around? Are they like pretty well known, or like they were a startup, or when did that come about?
I mean, they've been around for 10 years now. But it's slowly, you know, they're slowly building, and for a while they were known as just kind of like a rap studio. But since I've been there, I've been trying to expand our like clientele and our musical genres. So now we're able to do more different genres, work with a wider variety of artists, and you know, it's what's really cool is when I got on board, they basically told me like, you know, whatever you want to do like, with the studio, like we're gonna support you, and like so they really let me like craft it into my own, you know, vision. So like we've upgraded equipment. We're working on like renovating some of the rooms so that I can, you know, do some more things like record like bands and you know, different artists and stuff. So it's been really, you know, a really good relationship.
So, a lot of people, you know, they think they got some skills. You know, there's a time where I had a crew. You know,
Right.
there's five of us. We used to just, you know, cipher in the basement. You know, talk shit to each other and everything. Like, what do you think the major difference between that someone that does it as like a part-time hobby and then a pro? What do you think like that first huge step someone has to make in order to take it seriously as or do it full time, or like this is the oh shit I made it moment type thing?
Yeah, I mean, I like your mindset really has to change to like if you really want to make it in music, you have to treat it like it's your job, like your full-time job. And like with, you know, with anything, it takes practice. So, you know, you really have to like focus and like spend the time to, you know, work on your craft, you know, listen to other artists and you know, kind of find out what makes them great and see if you can implement that, you know, into your skills. And just, you know, you really have to, you know, build your brand also. You know, it's not about just the music anymore. You know, you have to have like a whole, it's basically yourself. It's like your own business, you know.
Right.
You're your own business, and you really have to have that mindset and dedication to it.
So you said that when you were at Studio A, you got in as an intern, and then eventually you got up to doing your own sessions. Can you talk about that first session that you were in charge of? And like, all right, you know, this is my session. I'm gonna run it how I do it. Can you talk about like the nerves that run through your head, and you're like, oh man, hopefully I don't mess this up. Hopefully they take me serious. Those side of things.
Yeah, like so the first session I ran by myself. Luckily, it was a pretty simple session. It was just a spoken word poet, so it didn't really take much. Like you know, it wasn't really hard to do.
Right.
And the guy was cool. But like the first like session where I kind of felt like had pressure, I get, you know, something that was a little more involved. I had to mix it was a jazz song. And then in just like, you know, when you're early on, like I was always kind of like doubting myself, like, okay, does this sound good? Is it like, you know, so I, you know, that's one of the things I had to like kind of build, you know, my confidence up. Like, you know, you know, you're going to make sure that the client's happy, but also that you're, you know, the quality of your work is, you know, is up to par. So, you know, I would say it did take me a couple years to like get to a point where I was like, okay, this like this stuff that I'm doing will rival any, you know, any song that you hear, you know, where I felt that confident, like.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was, yeah.
So just real quick, I remember when I first met you, and they were telling me, you know, like, oh, he does music. I'm like, oh yeah, I do music too. You know, what kind of music he does? It's like, no, he actually works in the studio. I'm like, I got a home studio. Cool, yeah. So, what would you say the difference between like, you know, like the, you know, your personal life you and then the business you? Because when you're in a studio running the show, like running the session, I mean, I feel like there's a lot that has to be done. Like there's a lot to manage. You have to manage a lot of personalities. Like, what do you think, like the hardest transition to coming between like an artist to actually producing or the audio engineering side? Like, what do you think the biggest difference is?
Yeah, I mean, like when you're in a session, really the most important skill that you have is like, you know, being able to work with the artists, get them comfortable enough to, you know, to perform their best. Because like the studio is all about like vibes, you know. If someone comes in and like, you know, they have to perform like with all their emotion, and they have to get in the right like headspace. And if there's any distraction, some artists, you know, won't be able to, will just like, you know, give up right there. So you have to create an environment that like nurtures that and like where the artist feels comfortable. So like, yeah, you know, it's good to have like the skills to, you know, to run the equipment and make everything sound good. But like I lost myself. First and foremost, you want to like, there you go. You want to make sure the artist is comfortable. So like, so yeah, I always try to make sure that none of the technical issues like would cause any distraction, you know. So make sure all the microphones are set up before they get there. You know, everything, I have all my stuff set up on my end so that when they get there, they can just focus on the performance. And then, you kind of get to know the artist, figure out stuff they like, how they like the lights, how they like the temperature in the room, what they like to drink while they record. So yeah, you get to learn the artist quirks and like get to know them on a personal level.
So just random question, like what's the weirdest like request or like the weirdest thing you've seen an artist like get ready? Because I know like when I used to perform at talent shows, I used to hype myself up. I'm like, yo, I gotta spend some time in the washroom and do like the 8 mile like warm up type thing. Like, is there any like weird stories? Like, if it's weird, don't say it, but don't put anyone.
Well, actually, so the weirdest request that we had, R. Kelly was coming to town, and he was looking for a studio, and so his people called. Wait.
I just had to do that. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so his people called up the studio and they sent over like a rider, which is like, all the stuff they request before the artist gets there. So we start reading over like, okay, he wants curtains all over the room, blackout curtains. He wants Hennessy, a bunch, some other liquor.
Right.
He wants lamps all over the place, fruit basket, all these like, a bunch of food, and like our studio manager just looked at it and she's like, screw this, I'm not doing that. Like, so we didn't end up doing the session because she just wasn't gonna. You didn't
get curtains, bro. It's just curtains.
No.
I mean,
and who knows what kind of stuff he would have brought in there,
That's true.
What kind of people?
Hindsight's 2020, but like at the time, what year was it? Like 08?
This was probably 2012 or 11, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's post allegations. So no wonder you're probably nah, that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah. So yeah, we didn't do that.
But yeah, like let me just real cut you off. So, like in that sense, like was there an artist you're like, oh man, I really want this person in the session? Like, how do you go about like grabbing artists or telling people like, hey, come to Studio 8 or come to the new studio? Like, how does that work? Because I know, for a well-established studio, they're like, oh, that's the spot I need to go to. But like your new spot is probably not as well known. Like, what do you do as far as like, how do you get new clientele or attract bigger names? Like, is there like a deal you do, or how does that work?
Yeah. So yeah, nowadays, like, at studio, we were able to attract bigger artists just because of the history of the place. Right. But now, I'm reaching out more to artists. If there's like a specific artist that I want to work with, like, I might offer them like a free session, just so we can build that relationship. I mean, I wouldn't do it often. Just got to make sure like it's something that I really. But yeah, it's just really just reaching out directly to artists nowadays, and even ones that are starting out that I see like potential in. I'll reach out to them and say, hey, I like your stuff. Like, I have a studio. If you're interested, come by. We'll hang out. And I found that like if we can get them in the door, just to even just vibe for a little bit, like I find that we were able to turn that into a client relationship. Right,
a long-lasting relationship. They're gonna come back, tell their boys, the rest of the crew type thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's dope. So, real quick, so let's say I'm a new artist. I got a little bit of clout on Snapchat. My IG reels. I got like 50 followers. People are like, oh Jay, you got some sauce. So now I book a session with you. Like, what is your advice to someone that's like coming in like their first studio session? Like, how do you tell them, like, you have a limited time there? Like, how do you make the most of it?
Yeah, so I would say, like, if you're going to the studio for the first time, like, just be as prepared as possible. Like, have your, if you have a beat or, have your music ready, write out your lyrics. A lot of people will go in and try to freestyle and find that they're not good at it, like, so spend the time to like practice at home and like, make sure, craft your song and make sure that, you got all the words. And then when you're in the studio, like you can utilize the technology, you know. So a lot of people will come in on the first session and try to do the song from top to bottom, like on the first take,
Right.
you know. But like we can, you know, do it line by line, or, you know, we can break up the song so that you don't have to do it once, you know, perfectly. And it doesn't matter if you mess up, because we're only going to release the, you know, the good take. So like you can mess up 100 times, but once you get it good once, you know, no one's ever going to know. So like I feel like a lot of artists put a lot of pressure on themselves to get everything perfect. And, you know, when they mess up, they're like kind of hard on themselves. But like, so that comes with experience in the studio. Like, you know that you can, you know, do it as many times as you need to, and we're gonna get it sounding right, if you can just hit it once.
Right. So real quick, just want to say intermissions, because I haven't seen you take a sip in a little bit. So, say on average. So let's say new artists. You know, let's say I have like 12 tracks that I got ready to put on wax or whatever. Like, what do you really say? Like, how long would it typically take to get a perfected song or a mastered song? Like hours in the studio.
So yeah, I mean, you know, it depends on the artist, because like I've worked with artists who spend like over 20 hours just on like their vocal part, and then I've worked with artists that, you know, that are able to knock out like 2 songs in an hour.
An hour? 2 full songs in an hour.
Yeah.
Really?
So, you know, it just depends on but I would say on average, like if you're just doing like a vocal, you know, you'd want to spend like, you know, 3 or 4 hours on it just to make sure everything's perfect. And then from that, you know, we spend maybe 4 to 6 hours like mixing, making sure everything sounds good, and then, you know, another couple hours mastering. So like, you know, you're looking at like 10 to 12 hours for a song.
For a song?
Yeah, I mean, and that's for like an experienced like
right
artist, you know.
And you want it,
and that's just
perfect.
Like kind of like a vocal over a beat, you know. If we're talking like recording a whole band and like multiple instruments,
right.
And like, of course, it'll add up, you know.
Yeah. So my cousin just popped in the chat. What's up, Kuya Daryl? What's up, bro? So he just said real quick, what is considered like a good take? I mean, I think just to build off that, like when someone comes in like, oh, that's the one, and you're like, it could be better. Like, what do you consider a good take?
For me, like it has to capture like the emotion of whatever the song is, you know. So especially for like singers. So like, of course you want like the notes to be like good on pitch, but like sometimes I'll let like little pitch, you know, mistakes, if it's a little flat or sharp, like I'll let that slide if like the emotion is captured on the tape, you know, because we can go in and fix like the pitch and, you know, can auto tune or whatever, make it sound right note wise, but like the emotion and like the, you know, capturing like the attitude or, you know, whatever the vibe of the song, like capturing that in the performance, that's like my main thing, you know. So you want to make sure the words are clear, but like on top of that, like emotion is what I'm looking for. And that's something like
right away.
Right. Yeah, it's something that you just gotta. It's just a feeling, you know. So it's hard to like quantify that, but like for me, it's like when I feel it, like you know, that's just, it's kind of just like my instinct. Like, okay, that was good.
Right. Do you recommend like before someone comes to the studio, do you tell them like, hey, send me your stuff first, type thing, or you just like meet them right then or there and you're just like, all right, let's lay it all down like right now?
I mean, a lot of time it just happens like that, where someone just comes in and like has, you know, okay, just has a song and I'm hearing it for the first time. But like if it's something that I'm like getting more involved in, yeah, then, you know, I'd like to, you know, like have the lyrics or have like some sort of like melody reference. Like if they, you know, even if they record like a little demo on their phone or something, just so I can get an idea of what of what we're getting into, and I can have some ideas coming in of like where we can take the song, and what kind of effects and stuff might want to try.
Right. So to the opposite of that, so if someone just walks in and is like, "Yo, I got a song I want to put together," but when you hear it, I'm like, "Man, that's absolute trash." Like you hear it, you're like, "No, I can't put my name on this." Type thing like that. Is there any situation when that happens and you're like, "Look, like what do you tell them?"
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, there's definitely I've definitely worked on a lot of bad music, and that's just part of like
it's part of the job, right? You just gotta
running a commercial studio. If someone wants to come record, your job is to just try to make it sound as best as you can, and then sometimes it's not it's not good enough. No. And then like I'm not like worried about like my name being attached to it, because if it's not good, like no one's gonna hear it anyways. So it's
yeah, true.
It's not gonna. And I've done enough good things that's not really gonna ruin my reputation or whatever. But I still like treat the artists with respect and try to coach them and get them the best that they can. But there have been situations where like people have sent me stuff they've recorded at home to mix and to work on, and and they expect it to they expect it to sound like Drake or whatever, but when they send it to me, it sounds like they recorded through like their headphone, like their phone the microphone or something. Yeah. And so like in that situation, I just I have to tell them like I can only do so much. Like the quality is not there for me to
I can't rap
elevate it to the right. So I mean, you have to. You can get a lot of good recordings with like cheap equipment, but you still have to have it, somewhat knowledge, of how to do it right. So yeah, there's situations where I have to turn down work,
Oh, really? You actually turn it down?
If it's not good enough, because most of the times in those situations, the client's expectation is unrealistic. You're never going to get it sounding like how they think it should sound.
Well, it's good too that you're educating them too, right? Like you gotta give these guys like a realistic like outcome, because at the end of the day, you're producing a product for them, and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna top of the charts of Spotify, but like, hey, how come I don't sound like Drake, or how come I don't sound like Bieber?
Right. Yeah, I mean, because you're competing with the radio or what all the popular songs, so you have to at least be in that range of quality, So.
Right. So, just real quick. So, I know a couple months ago, I think I even asked you. I was like, "Hey, what kind of mic should I get for my home studio?" Because, like I said, I mean, I have my own like video and photography production business, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Oh, I got to make sure like I got like really top notch sound. I want to be able to record music. I just want to be, have that rounded out as far as my services that I offer." Like, what can you recommend to someone that's starting off at home, like building their home studio, and then like how would you say like the difference between a home studio and like a pro studio like yours? Like what's the difference, and to that effect?
So like nowadays, like consumer recording equipment is actually it's really affordable, and it's really high quality. So you could get the same program that I use, the same programs, same plugins, for an affordable price at home. But I would say like the difference between like a professional studio and a home studio is, well, first of all, as the engineer, like the experience of the person running the stuff, and also acoustic treatment in the room. So that makes that I would say like is a big difference. Is like when you're at home, if you're in a normal room, when you're trying to mix something, the way that the sound bounces off the walls and the ceiling,
that's like those foam pads people will be buying.
Yeah, so like you won't, unless you treat your room at home, like you're not going to get an accurate representation of the mix when you're listening back. So that that's one of the main advantages of being in a studio that's treated,
Right. It's
and
professionally done.
yeah,
Yeah.
so like the sound is controlled so that, when I listen through the speakers, I know that it's accurate.
Yeah. Because
But
I know I watched like a
yeah,
bunch of YouTubers. They got like just 4 of those pads on the wall, and they're like, yeah,
yeah,
sound dampening. But it's like 4 in a diamond. I'm like, yeah, my room's set up for this. This is the
right.
studio.
Yeah, I
But
mean, acoustic treatment, it's a really like deep, you know, and there's like little things that you can do to help, but like a properly treated room is like a night and day difference. So like, yeah, at the studio that I used to work at, like that's where most of the budget went in when they built it, like the materials and the design, the architect I hired to
right, right.
to design, that cost more than the equipment because they wanted to make sure like the room sounded right.
True, true. So so just bound or to build off the home studio thing. So if I were to start like a home studio, or just in general, like what do you think, or just for any studio in general, what do you think like the most important piece of equipment or program or tool that you use or that people should invest in? Because I feel like the engineer itself, like that can't be replaced. People know that they go
Right.
to a pro studio because they got a pro that knows how to coach them through the actual like formulation of a song. But let's say that someone's just trying to improve like their own studio, so when they get ready to see you, they're good to go. Like they can send it. Like what do you think the most important piece of equipment is?
So yeah, I mean, I would start off with a decent computer, and like it doesn't even have to be like the top of the line because like I still use like my MacBook Pro that's 10 years old,
Right.
and it still runs all my audio programs like perfectly. So yeah, and then you'd want to invest in a program. So for someone starting off, I would like suggest either Logic or Ableton because those programs they come with a lot of like like a lot of instruments, a lot of sounds and they're easier to get into for like the learning curve is a lot easier for people wanting to start off. So like get one of those programs and just start. There's a million resources on YouTube on like how to create stuff. So just start studying and watching videos and trying to learn. And then you'd also want to get like an audio interface and a microphone, um, and then maybe like a MIDI keyboard so that you can like play in notes and stuff if you wanted to start like producing or making beats. But yeah, I mean, you could even like get like a microphone like a Shure SM7, which is only around like $300, but it's like one of the most popular microphones out, and you get really high quality with it.
Right. So I've always been the type to say like if uh, the pro gear, like the professional equipment, cannot be duplicated. Like people that make these products, they know there's a line between the consumer and like the prosumer. I always tell them, hey, if you really can't commit to a full home studio, just get something cheap, work on your craft, and then invest in the studio time. Because honestly, you're going broke just paying 10 grand to build a studio at home where you
Right.
could just practice your craft, work up to like saving up for an actual legit studio session where you could spend a couple hundred just getting some time in the studio where all that stuff is mastered for you. You get your own audio engineer. They teach you how to do it. So you cut out all the learning process. Like, what would you say to that effect as far as, where you should spend your time and money? Because I feel like you're going to be wasting a lot of time just learning it. Just focus on your craft of what you like doing. And then if you're an artist, focus on singing. And then when you save your money, go to the studio and lay some fire down. Like, that's just simple. Like, why would you waste 10 grand just building a home studio?
Right. Yeah. That's I would say for an artist, like even like if you there's a lot of free programs out there where you can use to make music. Um, yeah, just use whatever you have access to and learn. Try to learn that to the most that you can, and yeah, work on your performance, work on your playing if if you play an instrument, and yeah, and take it to somebody who can help you elevate your music.
Okay, so let's say, how old are you, real quick?
34.
Damn, you're 34.
Yeah, we're the
Are
same
we the
age, I
same
think.
age?
Yeah.
Damn, we old, bro. Anyways,
I
so
know, man.
if 34 you were to talk to 18-year-old you, and now that you got all the knowledge that you have now, like what would you tell the 18-year-old you on like how to fast forward your career, as far as not just like the skills set wise, but just like the business wise, like how to grow, how to improve your craft, or how to just move in your industry.
So I would say like um since now like the studio business isn't like how it was before, so it's like with more people recording at home, less people are coming to studios. um so I would probably tell myself like kind of try to expand, and that's something I'm trying to do now. Like I'm trying to learn more skills, not necessarily just outside of just music, so I'm trying to learn how to do like video. So because I have a lot of artists who come to me asking like, oh, do you know anybody who shoots music videos? Like if I learn that, like I could, or I can refer them to Jay.
You just gotta
But
go to Canada.
right. But yeah, so I would tell my younger self to kind of start diversifying your skills a little bit more, like, and learn more stuff that you can apply to the music business. Marketing stuff, graphic design, video stuff like that. All of that, so you can offer more services to artists.
Okay, so without name dropping or shoot or just like calling people out or anything, like what is your overall impression of like the current how do you say, the current atmosphere, or like the current mood? No, I don't even know how to say. You know what I'm trying to say? Like the overall like music industry as a whole. Like where do you think it's moving, or where, like what do you think like annoys you the most about like the new school generation of artists? I mean specifically like the people that go from like YouTube, social media. They think they're like
Right.
like pros right away because they got a like I said, they got like a 50 people Snapchat following. Like, yo, I'm about to do it big real quick. I'm gonna sign to a major record label. Like, what do you think about like that going trend as far as
Yeah, I
music?
mean, as far as like the how the trend of the industry is going, it's like there's no more artist development. So like major record labels are looking for like viral stars.
Right, quick
That's
money,
why
quick money.
yeah, that's why you see like these TikTokers or whatever, like get record deals and get songs out, like because the record label is just gonna hire some top producer and some top songwriter to come up with some stuff, and so even if they don't have any talent, like they'll still be able to sell records off their name.
Yeah, yeah.
So like so you see that a lot, and you get like and like like I see new artists think that it's easy, because like they make it seem like oh, this person just came out from overnight, but like you don't realize it takes a lot of hard work, like really, to if you want to do it right.
So,
um
uh, I always say this just because I find it so annoying. Like, one thing I hate about music is like some of these artists, specifically rappers, are coming out with like these minute and a half songs. I was like, this
yeah,
guy, there's a 2 minute song, and this thing is going like triple platinum. And like, I swear, this is the most annoying thing, but I got a catchy beat, and like the guy has like standout hair, and now they can sell records. Like, how does that happen? Like, it annoys the hell out of me.
because music has gone back to like a singles driven market. So like if you go back to like the 60s, songs used to be like 2 minutes long, because they weren't really selling albums, they were selling like singles, so they're selling like 2 minute songs, and then as eventually like music started becoming more driven by albums, whole albums, and artists could release like 6-7 minute songs,
Yeah.
because it was part of a whole album. But now with like online streaming, people are like handpicking their songs and putting playlists together again. So now it becomes back to singles. And if you have shorter songs, you can put more songs on a playlist, or you can have more songs played on the radio, and so they have more time for advertisements. So like,
oh, I didn't even think of it like that. That makes sense. That's annoying, but it makes sense.
yeah. So and you got a lot of people making music at home, and just people don't have long attention spans anymore. They want to make it as long as what TikToks are like 15 seconds or something.
Right.
And
I don't know how many times I can hear Jason Derulo in the background. I was like, man, this thing's on every friggin' TikTok video, man. It's just annoying.
Yeah, so I mean, people are only listening to like a little snippet of your songs these days too. So
God, that's so annoying. So annoying. So, as far as that goes, like, what, I don't want to put you on the spot, like, I'm just a throwback to like when people release like the double albums, or like
right.
like the 40 song list, because nowadays, man, what's that kid that just released an album that has 12 songs and it only totals like 20 minutes? Like,
right. I mean, that's like most of them now.
I'm like, yeah. What? What is this? Because I remember one of my favorite CDs is like the Wu-Tang double album. Like the whole thing had like a story. Every song led to the next song. And like, oh man, this is like a movie without picture. You can imagine it in your mind. But now it's just like you're just tone deaf because you just hear blah blah blah. But anyways, not to put you on the spot, what would you say your favorite era, or at least like genre? What would you say that's your favorite to work on? Not so much like your favorite, but like your favorite type of music to work on, or a style.
My favorite type of music is like R&B and soul music. So like like D'Angelo, Lauryn Hill, and then even like newer artists like her. I like her a lot.
Oh yeah, she's really good.
Daniel Caesar.
Huh?
Yeah. That's part of the reason I like her too.
I saw her mom.
Yes.
Her mom's full.
Yeah. So I'm R&B is like my favorite music to create and to work on.
So on that tip, like as far as like new artists coming out, there's like, I know, I'm not sure how like locally grown the new artists that coming out of Michigan are, but like, is there someone that you're really looking forward to, or someone drop an album, you're like, wow, I can't wait to hear the next iteration or next evolution of a specific artist?
Like from here or
anywhere,
just
like
in general?
Right,
yeah, I mean, I like Daniel Caesar a lot. I like Mac Ayres.
Mac Ayres.
Yeah, he's this white R&B singer from Philadelphia. He's only like 22 or something like that, but he's dope. You should check him out for sure.
Mac Ayres. I'm gonna type
Mac Ayres. MACAYRS or something.
Hold on. MAC
AYRS. AYRES.
Mac Ayres. All right. Whatever. And you said he's more soul R&B?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he's cool. Yeah. I can't really think of anyone else.
So bucket list. Like who is your ideal, or like who's that artist you're like, man, I don't want to reach out to because I don't want to seem too desperate. Like, man, I really want to work with them, type thing. Like who is that person that always like you've always wanted to work with, or always wanted to share a song with?
Let me get this camera back. There you go. Like on my all-time list of like people that I want to work with, it would be the Neptunes, Pharrell and Chad Hugo. because like they were like my biggest inspiration
Oh, a lot of us, yeah,
growing up.
especially Chad. Was like, oh man, an
Yes,
Asian guy in a
yeah,
hip hop song.
yeah, like yeah, especially him because like when I was like starting making beats in like 2001, like that's who I was listening to trying to copy.
Yeah, we were always
And like
beatboxing the intro to that thing.
yeah, and there was one time where we got a call the day before and said the Neptunes want to come to the studio, but and I was freaking out, but it ended up falling through. They didn't come, so like I was really bummed about that.
It's like, well, we'll go to you, man. Don't worry about it.
Right.
I'll bring the curtains, I'll bring the fruit baskets.
Right, exactly. I would have done anything.
What do you need, man? What else?
Yeah, so like I mean, that would be a dream still. That like I don't think Chad makes as much music as he used to anymore. But
I honestly haven't heard of it
I
because I know Pharrell. He's doing everything now.
Yeah, and Chad.
Everything.
I mean, he'll still do some stuff with Pharrell, but like I think he's mostly just chilling. I mean, they made a lot of money, so.
Yeah. So as far as you personally, like where do you see yourself like growth wise? Like what else do you have on your list to do or at least complete? Or not even just the music industry, but you said you kind of want to diversify your skill set, your talents. Like what's next for you?
Yeah, so I'm definitely working on learning how to do video stuff. So like I'd like to start shooting some music videos, and learning how to edit and all that stuff. As far as music goes, I do want to finally release like a project of my own music. So I've been working on my own music for a long time, but like I've always been kind of like insecure about it. Like,
right.
It's just gonna, like, because like I've been scared to like put it out, but like so I'm finally getting to a point where I like just telling myself like just do it. Like who cares?
Man, you're dad
like,
now, man.
Right.
You're kid now, man. You've been through it.
Yeah. So I'm working on that right now. So I'm going to be releasing some like instrumental stuff, and then I'd like to work on a project where I invite like artists that I know to come and do vocals over my music. So
well, I saw, because you and your wife, you guys put out music, right? Your wife sings.
Yeah.
Oh, she's amazing. First of all, congrats, man, on a beautiful family.
Thank you, man.
Like I love seeing all that. You need to post more pictures,
Yeah.
man. But anyways, like I would love to see more from like you and your wife and stuff. Because do you just mostly do the like instrumentals? Like you don't do vocal? Do you do vocals?
No, I mean like I'll sing a little like.
You look at you being modest.
No, I mean no, I wouldn't say like.
I'll do a little bit.
I can add. Sometimes I'll add like a little like for my wife's music, for example. If I feel like it needs like a lower voice somewhere in there, I'll do a little bit and like kind of have it low.
Yeah, match pitch and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah, like I'd like her to do more music. She's been a little busy with the baby and stuff, but we're working on it. We're gonna try to do some more music together.
Yeah, man, I can't wait because I know you guys put out a song not too long ago, and it was so nice. I mean, I think every time I see like my friends put out stuff, I always like because it's so funny. You see it on social media, but like there's no emoji that can express like how giddy I am when I see my friends doing stuff. Like I turn all like girly and stuff, and I show my wife, but it's weird because like I know we're so far away. I'm like, hey, look what my friends are doing. It's like, oh man, I wish we were there, type of thing. But yeah, man, do it. Man,
I appreciate that.
So
yeah.
Awesome. Like I can sing. Like I got like 16 songs that I'm waiting to drop, but damn, I need to take some lessons first.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that. Yeah, I mean, and we have a few things that like we started that I just gotta get her to motivate her a little bit more.
See, knowing you, I feel like you have it like 90% done. Like you just have to put it together and it's there. So like that's pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, like really, I just need her to sing on it.
Well, and I think that's a
music.
lot of people too. Like a lot of people, they're just like a little bit more insecure, or they're so worried about like what other people think. It's like, oh man, people are gonna judge me, or type of thing. But like, I mean, that's exactly why I started like this podcast. Like, I'm reaching out to my friends, like, just get comfortable talking on camera, because like once you face it, and just even when we were talking before, it's like sometimes you just got to do it. And I feel like that's the example I'm trying to set, reaching out to my people, like, hey man, I'm do it, you should do it too. So start your podcast too, bro.
Yeah, I will.
I'm waiting for the live stream. I was so mad at you when you live streamed and I was like typing to you, and like you wouldn't say anything back. You were typing back. I'm like, I'm watching.
I know, it's just
like,
weird. Like,
say it out loud.
It's weird because, you know, like, even though people are interacting with you on the internet, whatever, like, you're still in a room by yourself. So like, you know, I feel like I'm just like talking to myself. Well, so yeah, that's something I definitely need to like get used to and stuff.
The annoying thing is like I'm like cracking jokes, like talking shit to you, and you're like talking like ha 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 LOL, but you're like a
yeah, I know, yeah. And sometimes I forget that the camera is on and people can see your expressions.
Like, stop laughing. Like, you just lying, man. I see you on camera. Stop doing that to me, man. We're boys.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
All right, man. All right, well, I think that's a good place to end. I will just say, let me raise my glass to you. I didn't try to finish this. I poured it out while you were talking, so I hope you don't mind. But I just want to say...
Yeah, you barely drank that. I mean, I finished mine.
No, I kept pouring, bro. I kept pouring.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it.
You know. But anyways, I just want to raise a glass to you. Hey, man, appreciate you. I'm happy for you. Your family is beautiful.
Oh, thanks, man.
Good luck with everything. I will be checking up on you. I will be aiming for a part 2. So post some more stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's good catching up. You know, we haven't talked in a long time, so it's good to just, you know, hang out for a little bit.
All right, bro, man.
Thanks,
All
man.
love, man.
All right.
Give my regards to the wife and kid.
Oh, you too.
All right, bro. Later. Cheers.
All right. Later.